this lovely recipe, we have to make the filling. Start by adding 1 block of medium firm tofu to a high-speed blender. This is going to be the basis of a sort of a creamy, cheesy sort of filling. Add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and a half cup of nutritional yeast. The nutritional yeast will add that delicious vegan cheesy flavor, and add a teaspoon of ground white pepper for some umami. For extra umami and a bit of salt, we're going to add white miso paste, 2 tablespoons worth. And once everything is added to the blender, mix until everything is completely smooth. Set this aside, and in a medium skillet over medium to medium high heat, add a little bit of water or vegetable broth. You can also use olive oil or your oil of choice, and add 2 leeks, the bottom white half of the leek, and 1 diced yellow or white onion to your skillet, and cook until nicely soft. To flavor, we're going to add a variety of assorted spices. I've added all of these into the description for your ease and your benefit. We got some parsley, cumin, ground mustard, some nigella seeds, the typical kinds of nice Mediterranean inspired, but also sort of new, interesting spices that I enjoy. And I also decided to add 1 to 2 tablespoons worth of chili powder for an extra kick, because the leeks and the onions give a really strong pungent onion flavor, and we needed a little extra of something else. Then I added a whole Napa cabbage, 3 minced garlic cloves, and about a cup of chopped arugula. You can also use spinach or kale, whatever you prefer. Once the vegetables are nicely wilted, you're going to add your creamy, cheesy sort of tofu mixture to the skillet, making sure that the water from the vegetables has evaporated just a little bit so the filling doesn't get too soggy. And to ensure that everything gets a nice crunch, some textural variance, we're going to add a 4th cup of chopped macadamia nuts. These definitely work the best in my opinion, but you can also work with some almonds, some walnuts, but macadamia nuts really give this sort of Mediterranean, Greek, Macedonian kind of vibe to the pie. Now, in order for everything to set, I added 2 tablespoons worth of tapioca starch, mixed it in really well, and then set it all aside to work on the bake. For the bake, we're going to use one of those lovely cheesecake pans to make our delicious leek and cabbage pie. We're going to use some phyllo dough. There's no chance of making that from scratch, so I purchased the Pepperidge Farms or the sort of normal vegan store-bought phyllo dough, and I melted some vegan butter in the microwave, and then I pretty much lathered it all over the baking tray, making sure that the bottom was completely covered and the sides. Take your phyllo dough, which I've always struggled to use. I know you're supposed to work quickly with phyllo dough. I always never really wait until it's fully defrosted, but either way, it still works pretty lovely. I added about 15 to 20 sheets of phyllo dough on the bottom because I really like the sort of nice crispy pastry flavor. You can use less. I know some people use barely, like 8 sheets or something, and layer them, and add vegan butter in between those layers every time you stack the phyllo dough. Once your dish has been prepared, add all of your cabbage, leeky, oniony, delicious nutritional yeast flavored base to the bottom and the center part of your pie tray, and make sure that everything is nicely smoothed and evened out. Now gently curl the edges of the phyllo dough into the center to make a sort of decorative phyllo pastry lining, sort of exterior here. It can be super makeshift, nothing too special. Then I just added a little bit of nigella seeds to the top to ensure that it had a nice decorative flavoring. These are sort of onion seeds. They have a very distinct flavor and I really love them. Top with some vegan butter and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius for 25 to 27 minutes, flipping it halfway. Make sure to put an extra tray at the bottom just to make sure nothing spills while the bake happens so your oven doesn't explode, and enjoy. Be sure to subscribe, guys, for videos every Friday.